Chris and Daniel in the morning. Alright, so today I have a special guest for my hypothetical of the day, Mr. Chris Galusha, local artist, metal worker, and hamster and ferret rancher.
Not anymore. I'm retired from that now.
You retired from being a hamster and ferret rancher.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is terrible, terrible. What about all the hamsters? Where did they go?
They got adopted to loving homes.
The ferrets? Did you kill them?
No. We gave them to pest control agencies to help get rid of, their pest problems. Because they work really well as mousers. Yeah.
Ferrets or mousers? Isn't that like cannibalism or something?
Mm-hmm. Ferrets are weasels and mice are rodents. There's a big enough difference there to not be cannibalism.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, moving right along. Yesterday's hypothetical of the day. If you could go on a random trip somewhere and you'd get $100,000 when you got back, where would you agree to go? You don't know where you're going, and you only get one phone call to keep your life in order before you go. Chris, would you go?
Maybe it depends what I can bring with.
You just whatever's on your back, right then and there. You don't get to take your cell phone, or your cell phone's not going to work while you're gone.
Right.
So you can't
Maybe.
contact anyone beyond your one phone call.
But I'd still have my cell phone with me.
You can't contact them though. You'll have your cell phone
And I can use
as an alarm clock
yeah.
and like anything but email or like no communication.
So this is most likely a trip to some place like some Pacific island in the middle of nowhere.
It's just totally random.
Mm-hmm.
But you're incommunicado for the rest of the time while you're on the trip.
How
That's
long
just
is
part
the
of the
trip?
deal. I'm going to go for 2 weeks. I didn't specify yesterday.
2 weeks. Oh boy. That could be exciting.
Would you go?
Do I have to pay anything?
No, it's all expense paid.
All expense paid.
And you
then
get
I
$100,000 when you get back.
Maybe, depending on what I have with me in my pockets.
It's whatever you got right now.
Yeah, right now?
Right now. Whatever is on your person. So you get that coffee cup. You don't get your phone because your phone's over there charging. You get your hat. You get your glasses. And whatever's in your pockets.
No coat?
No, not coat. Everything will be provided for you that you need on the other end. All expense paid.
I guess so, yeah. A little bit of money, that would be nice.
Yeah, would you do it if there wasn't money, just for the adventure?
That depends on my schedule.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, so who would you call?
Good question. Can I give the phone number to the other person on the other end to tell more people?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just got to be someone you can trust to get your life in order while you're gone.
Probably my parents, because I'm stuck living with them right now.
Yeah?
Yeah. And then they could tell everyone else from there.
Okay. That makes sense. I think it would be an interesting adventure.
Yes.
I don't know for sure that I'd go without the money.
I would have to have the money to go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think that I'd like to say that I would go without the money. I'd like to be like, yeah, the adventure, this is going to be awesome.
It would be nice to be able to afford to go without the money, but with today's world, I'd have to have the money to go to actually take 2 weeks out of my life right now with how little money I'm making right now. Anyways, I would need to be paid. Yeah, that'd be nice.
I can understand that. Yeah.
So,
I think we all have this fantasy of just like dropping everything and going somewhere.
be nice, but
I think it'd be interesting to figure out where I'd go.
yeah, that would be a good thing to know where we're going before, or where
Where would you be hoping for?
someplace not war-stricken or life-threatening.
That could be important.
Yeah. Because I could have fun anywhere that's not a threat to my life, pretty much.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That could be cool.
Or ungodly, painfully boring.
Middle of South Dakota.
I could find something to do out there.
Okay. We'll be right back with today's Hypothetical of the Day.
Oh boy.
And we're back with today's Hypothetical of the Day. Alright, so Chris, for today's Hypothetical of the Day. And this one comes from Ray.
Right. Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
She's good at these.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think the world would be like if all copyrights belonged to their creators and were immediately, everything went public domain as soon as that person died?
That would be a very interesting world to live in. We would definitely not be as much of a greedy society, I think, possibly.
Yeah, how so?
Well, that would in turn make it so that there would be less chance of capitalizing more on a product or an item or an image or anything that's copyrighted for longer than the face value of the lifetime of the creator of said piece. So then it could go into the ether and then anyone can use it. More fair trade, fair use of it, of the ideas. I think we would more likely be more evolved as a society if something like that could actually be implemented. Because then we wouldn't have to have as much fighting or war or even just litigation over rights and who's going to make all this tons of money off of it. It would be more concentrated on more humanitarian ideas and feelings to be able to actually help each other rather than I'm going to make the next, $30 million and screw everyone else,
Well, the thing that brought this up with between Ray and I when we were first talking about it was they have a hologram of Tupac that's on tour.
A hologram of Tupac.
Yeah, and it's doing concerts where people come and go see this hologram of Tupac.
Okay.
When
did they come up with this idea?
They're doing it with other people too. They're trying to
Right.
take holograms, like synthesize these actors,
Seriously.
or these musicians,
They're trying to
and create holographic concerts
with dead people.
with dead people.
Sounds like a money-making pyramid Rube scheme to me. I
don't know. I mean, to me, it's one of these things where I feel like people should have some control over their image rights.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking anything. It's fake.
I know. I was thirsty.
It's hypothetical coffee. I mean, you have these image rights that I do think people should have some control over their image rights while they're alive. But once you're dead, you no longer have control over that image rights.
Right.
And I mean, I would never try to get people to stop listening to Tupac's music. I'm not a fan.
Right.
But anyone's music, because that's their mark they left on the world.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, it seems a bit wrong to attach their image as though they were alive.
That does seem awfully odd and kind of off kilter because that makes it seem as if the person is still alive and they're the one capitalizing upon it and making their money off of it. But at the same time, it just feels slightly wrong in some way. I could see it working if the family were to be the ones who would profit from it, but I don't see the family profiting in that kind of venture. That sounds like something more of a corporation would do, or a particular music industry that they would market. Okay, we have the rights for said person's music. We'll just make a hologram of them and have somebody get in one of those multi-point suits and have them dance around as if they're the person. And I mean, it does pick up ideas of being able to have different ideas of a person's persona, so that you could even have different actors portray that particular person in different scenarios.
A holographic Elvis impersonator.
Yes.
Or it could become an interesting art form in and of itself.
Yes.
And I don't really want to, I wouldn't really want to deter that, but it feels like when you're capitalizing on it in the way that it's being done, it's like casting someone in a movie without their permission.
Right.
And
it has that kind of greasy, kind of sleazy feel to it.
I have mixed feelings about it because I do like making movies. I like taking actors and basically saying, here, you're on screen to be in this movie. But they all know that that's going to continue on
Past that.
as its own thing,
Yeah.
separate from their lives. even if it's not going to continue when they, die.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of my movies don't make it more than a couple of years, really, in terms of people's interest.
Currently, yeah.
But I feel like it's a different story when you're casting a holographic John Wayne, in a modern
Mm-hmm.
Western. That's an entirely different sort of thing than Andy Serkis playing Gollum, in a similar fashion. Because he signed on for it.
Yeah, Andy Serkis is the one that is acknowledged and given, the props for doing what he does. I mean, if someone were to go into doing that, I would think that the person that's behind the movements and directing the particular avatar that is said character, that person should be acknowledged.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it as being a way for people to act from far distances, but at the same time also act as other characters and fully imbue into a different role.
Mm-hmm.
I can see both positives and negatives with that particular idea of holographic performers.
I could see it becoming a new art form and an interesting art form.
Yes.
But at the same time, something about it seems off kilter to me.
A little sketchy.
It's sketchy.
Especially when you're not just using a fictional character. You're not using, you're not using Scott Pilgrim and having somebody act as Scott Pilgrim, who's a fictional character and has a fictional band, whereas if you're using someone who actually existed, such as Tupac or anyone else who's passed on, not Marilyn Manson, Marilyn Monroe, people who are already gone and who used to do it, that's ingenuine, almost to me.
I feel like for me, I would be okay with it if everyone's image rights kind of basically became public domain at their death.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like while you would still be able to do this concert stuff that was really kind of, should they make money on it, should they not, you wouldn't have exclusive rights to it.
Other people could still use it instead of the particular single business being the only people who can use it.
So that's all the time we have. If you like this two-person format, let me know. I want to thank Chris for crashing on my couch tonight and for being willing to put up with this and for drinking my delicious fake coffee. Delicious. And hypothetical.